I feel so guilty because I made a bad decision, and of course, it all went wrong and almost resulted in me destroying my relationship with my mom forever. You're probably wondering, what could be so bad? Well, it all started when I was 15. I'm Harriet, by the way. You see, my dad sadly died in a car accident a few years ago, and ever since then, it's just been me and my mom. She spent so much time looking after me and making sure that I was okay that she barely had any time for herself. As I got older, I started to worry about her. Didn't she want to meet someone else? Fall in love again? I missed my dad every day, but I really wanted to see my mom happy again. And so I did something crazy. My friend at school had told me about this dating game show, and one day I decided to apply for my mom. I couldn't believe it when she got accepted to go on the show. She didn't really want to do it, but I persuaded her that it would be fun, and she finally agreed, and it seriously was fun. Well, guess what? She met the most perfect guy. Jeff was the typical cliche of a tall, dark, handsome guy, and my mom basically had heart emojis popping out of her eyes every time she spoke about him, and he was young. Like 5 years younger than my mom. But my mom looked good for her age, so Jeff obviously didn't mind. I'd seen him on the show, but I hadn't met him in real life yet. So when my mom invited me out to dinner with them, I was excited. I wondered if this man looked as handsome in real life as he did on TV. Oh my gosh, he looked even better. And he was such a gentleman. He opened the car door for me, and he even gave me a kiss on the cheek when he first saw me. At the restaurant, I couldn't stop staring at him. I could see my mom had already fallen deeply in love with him. Every time he made a joke, both of us laughed so loudly, and he asked me so many questions about my school and my favorite class. It was like he was seriously interested in getting to know me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake thinking about the way Jeff had looked at me every time I spoke. The more I thought about it, the more I realized he didn't look at my mom in that way. And I hadn't seen him kiss my mom on the cheek, but he'd kissed my cheek. What did it all mean? The next day, I asked Mom if she was seeing Jeff that day, and she said they were going to see a movie. Without even thinking, I asked if I could join, and I could see my mom hesitate before she answered me. Sure, honey, she said reluctantly, but I didn't even pay her response much attention. I ran upstairs and put on my prettiest dress, and I even snuck into Mom's bedroom and spritzed on some of her perfume. As soon as I heard Jeff's car pull up, I ran downstairs and opened the door before Mom could. "Hi, Jeff," I said, twirling my hair. "Well, well, well, don't you just look lovely, Harriet," Jeff said with a big grin on his face. My heart was beating so loudly I was afraid he'd hear it. We all left for the movies together, and if Jeff thought it was a little strange that I was joining, he didn't say anything. I didn't realize it then, but I was falling for Jeff too. In the movies, Jeff sat in the middle, as he was the only one holding the giant box of popcorn. I could see he was holding my mom's hand, but every time I put my hand in the popcorn box, his other hand would be there at the same time. When his hand brushed against mine, I felt a wave of electricity shoot through my body. That's when I realized I wished it were my hand he was holding instead of my mom's. I ended up staring at Jeff instead of watching the movie, and more than once my mom caught me looking at him. What was wrong with me? Jeff was my mom's boyfriend, not mine. And yet, I couldn't stop thinking about him. I had to be careful that my mom didn't notice me staring at him again, though. I didn't want her to get suspicious. So I made a new plan. I texted Jeff. When my mom was sleeping, I opened her phone and copied down his number. I just wanted to see if he would reply to me. I didn't tell him it was me. I just said, "Thinking of you." But he didn't reply. And then things turned horrible. The next day, I went to school and my mom went to work, and I knew she was meeting Jeff for lunch as I'd read her messages. That night, she went berserk. She said Jeff had shown her the text, and why did I think it was okay to snoop at her phone and text her boyfriend? Then her face changed. like she was remembering something. And then she started asking me if I liked Jeff and if that's why I'd been staring at him so much in the cinema. I couldn't even reply. I just burst into tears. Jeff was my mom's boyfriend, and I'd stupidly developed a teenage crush on him. What Mom did next shocked me so much. She called Jeff and broke up with him. She said that no man would ever come between us, and that even though she really liked him, she didn't want to hurt me. And then she said that he was also a bit too young for her. I felt so guilty. It was all my fault that she'd had to give up her boyfriend, all because I couldn't control my feelings. I regret ever signing Mom up to the game show. I should never have interfered. I'm just glad it all turned out okay in the end. What do you think of my story? Please share your comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.